Hi, my name is Mike Nadeau. I'm an agent with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, and this is why life insurance matters. Greg and I met at Butler University back in 1990. We were college roommates for 4 years, and at that time we became very good friends. And Greg graduated from Butler University with an accounting degree, and I graduated from Butler University with a marketing degree. After that, Greg moved on to work for Thompson Consumer Electronics, and I moved back to Fort Wayne and become an agent and with Farm Bureau. At that time, he allowed me to take care of his life insurance. And as him and Allison started to grow, they wanted to start having children. And of course, I talked with Greg and said, Greg, this is something that you probably really need to look at. Greg then had his first child, and I think that kind of made him aware and decide that yes, it is something that I need to seriously look at. And I actually had my first child, and we had their first birthday parties together. After that, Greg decided that he would go ahead and buy life insurance. We continued to remain friends, and I would continue to do reviews with Greg every year and make sure that he was financially okay. As his job progressed, his income continued to go up, and he also decided that they were going to grow their family, and they had more children. And Greg, at one point after review, I said, you know, Greg, we probably really ought to look at increasing the amount of insurance. And Greg said, you know, we probably should look at that. He was aware of the need, and he knew that he had children that he had to protect, and he wanted peace of mind for Allison in the event that anything were to ever happen, especially with her being, you know, a mother and staying home with her children. She needed to make sure that if that income was gone, that there would be enough there for her to be able to financially support her children. So Greg purchased an additional amount of insurance that we had established and he felt comfortable with, based on his income, based on their debt load, based on whatever needs they had. Greg and I continued to stay in contact. We would do reviews, so Greg felt that what he had would be sufficient to protect his family. Sad to say, in 2012, Greg was diagnosed with brain cancer. And unfortunately, it was the kind that was very aggressive. He had surgery and went to the best doctors in the country. They did remove the mass and had given Greg approximately 10 years of life left with a 4% chance of it coming back. Unfortunately, Greg was in that 4%, and at that time they established that the tumor was inoperable. And from there, Greg lost all functions of his arms, his legs, and was able to talk and could hear all of us, but could not function. I had visited him several times, probably 6 weeks in a row in Chicago at Northwestern University to help his family, to help him. And him and I had several conversations. And I'll never forget, you know, the number one thing that Greg told me. He says, you'll never understand and appreciate how much the life insurance means to me and how much at peace I am and able to be at peace because I know my wife is financially going to be taken care of. On July 8th, 2015, Greg fought his final fight, and happened to pass away. Now Allison has a tough fight raising 4 children on her own, but financially she knows she's taken care of. She has the time to make decisions that she needs to make. She doesn't have to make any irrational decisions because financially she's not taken care of, which means the world, to Greg. Obviously, that doesn't bring him back, but it does allow for him to have some peace, and really know that that part of his life was okay. Being an agent for 21 years, that was one thing that meant a lot, felt good, and makes you understand the reason that you do your job every day. So it was a blessing that I was persistent, even though I felt like at times I was, bugging him, bothering him, but I was not, and I knew that in my heart.